Hey, it's me, Coach Cindy from All Out Training. So you don't have no idea how long it took me to put this whiteboard up, so that's why I'm giggling. But anyway, I'm here with a video today because one of the common questions I get asked about is, I eat really great Monday to Friday, and then the weekends I kind of like take it easy. I'm a little bit laid back, and I kind of go overboard or whatever, which we call weekenditis, a case of the weekenditis. Or can one meal really ruin all the hard work that I've done Monday to Friday, basically? So I just wanted to go through an example here. It's also my first time writing on the whiteboard while recording, so we'll see how this works. Okay, so I just want to say, so let's say you have a coach or somebody who determines what your maintenance calories are. So your maintenance, and they determine your maintenance calories being the amount of calories that you need in order to kind of maintain your body based on your activity level, your age, your weight, and that sort of thing. They kind of figured that out. And let's say hypothetically, they figured out that your calories are 2,000 calories. Oops. As your maintenance calories. And this is totally going to show up afterwards. Okay, so anyway, so your coach has two options from there because your goal is to lose weight, right? So your coach has the option of one, dipping your calories lower, like really, really fast all at one time so that you can lose weight significantly faster, which is usually what we see from somebody who eats a diet that's probably not really high quality, or is over consuming a lot of calories, and then they go on like shake based or really restrictive diet or that sort of thing, is they tend to lose a lot of weight. A lot of it's water weight, but they lose a lot of weight in the beginning. A lot of it is because they've just dropped significantly the amount of calories that they went to. They did it from here and then they significantly dropped to the next one. So that's one option, and then the other option is to do it more gradually, right? So over time, so that so basically, if I do it this way, right? If I do it the way that it's going to speed you up faster to lose your weight, generally, eventually you'll hit a place where you'll feel really like irritable, you'll feel like more hungry, like to this point where like it's incessant thoughts about hunger and what you're going to have and eat. And that's when a lot of the binge eating kind of happens. So then you tend to be more up and down. So like somebody who has a dramatic dip in calories to try and lose weight really, really quickly. So when you start to feel irritated or agitated or have those incessant thoughts about food or hunger, your journey might start off really great like this, and then it'll look like this, right? And then it'll go like this, and then it'll go like this. Whereas if your coach starts you off on a plan where it's gradual, then maybe you won't maybe you'll be more like this, which is what we want, right? Which is what we want. In life, we don't want this at all, right? We don't want such severe highs and lows in our life, so why would we want that within our bodies or within our kind of our food choices? We would want this. So there's advantages to having a slow and gradual process. But some people have deadlines and they have things that they need to meet. So sometimes there's periods in our life where this is more appealing or this is needed. But in general, in the general population, we need to embrace this a bit more because this is what we want. So anyway, so that's kind of the two options that your coach has to kind of get you to lose weight. And then one is in a shorter time frame, and one takes a little bit longer to get there. But one could argue that this is more sustainable, less irritability, less incessant hunger, thoughts about hunger or eating, and less periods of low energy, basically. And this one also makes you feel like less than, not good enough, because you have control, and then you have a fuck it mentality. Control, and then you have a fuck it mentality. So let's say that your coach, so I'm just going to take this off. So let's say your coach then sets your calories at 1,500. That at 1,500, that's your dip, right? That's your maintenance. This is what it's going to take for you to lose weight right now, and this is what we're going to do to get you there right now. That's what you guys have decided, and at that calorie point, it's not really too low that you're going to feel irritable or really hungry or that sort of thing. And what I see a lot of clients do is they go into my fitness pal and they pick this like really lofty goal and this really aggressive approach, and my fitness pal comes back with super low calories. But that's when you then have those highs and lows like I just explained. So this generally isn't going to lead to a lot of irritability or hungry. It might over time, and it might for some people and not for others, depending on where they were coming from. But let's say that's where you do it. So I already did some math. So it's a 500 calorie deficit, right? So Monday to Friday, that means that you're eating calories, right? So hopefully you've worked with the coach that's helped you understand how to prioritize protein, how to get in your non-starchy vegetables, and the role that carbs and fats play in your diet, so that we're just not filling those calories with not nutrient-dense food, because we don't understand how to do those things, right? We're just concerned about calories, and we're not concerned about the quality of the foods that we're eating or how it can impact your hormones. So let's say Monday to Friday you have no problem eating those calories, you're eating really great food, you feel like you're eating pretty clean, that sort of thing. But when it comes to Saturday and Sunday, let's say you just consume 1,000 more calories. So Saturday and Sunday comes along and you consume 1,000 more calories than the 1,500 calories per day or the 10,500 calories that are allotted per week. So you are then in a surplus, right, of 2,000 calories on a weekend. So Saturday you consume 1,000, Sunday you consume another 1,000, so you're at 2,000 extra calories over 2 days. So now this bumps up this number to 12,500 calories in your week. Or, what's my math? My average day now is 1,785 calories. So if your maintenance calories were determined at 2,000 calories, and we created a deficit of 500 calories, Monday to Friday you maintain that. That's how much calories you'd have in a week. Saturday to Sunday you go overboard, 1,000 on Saturday, 1,000 on Sunday. That's 2,000 calories more. So now you're at 12,500 calories in a week versus the 10,500, which brings you from 1,500 to 1,785. Do you see how much closer that 1,785 is now to your maintenance calories? The maintenance calories to maintain your weight when your goal is to lose weight. Do you see how much closer we've moved up? Just because Saturday and Sunday we've consumed 2,000 calories more over 2 days. Now, on average, and this isn't assuming like this is like just very basic level. But basic level, you need a 3,500 calorie deficit to lose 1 pound. I'm not considering the quality of food, how you absorb it, the hormonal response. We're not doing that. We're just like hypothetically. So if, let's say you consume 2,000 calories more, but you need 3,500 to lose a pound, do you see how that's not really going to happen in the long term? So you're wondering, you know, I'm eating really clean Monday to Friday, I'm eating healthy, whatever that means to you, but then Saturday and Sunday you let loose. Can you see how you can potentially undo all the effort, or why you feel like you're not making progress towards your goals? Does that make sense now? I hope that does. So then the next question I get asked, well, 1,000 calories, that's a lot, right? What adds up to 1,000 calories? So remember we said 1,000 calories on Saturday and 1,000 calories on Sunday. But maybe you're just the type of person who indulges on Saturday and then goes out Saturday night and does it all in one bang. So I wrote out some examples that are roughly around 1,000 calories to give you an idea of what it takes to undo some of the hard work, or why you're not seeing progress when you're consistent just by eating 2,000 calories more. The average person eats a lot more than that, or overconsumes by a lot more than that. So for 1,273 calories, that is 2 glasses of red wine. So remember that this is on top of the calories. So remember we set it at 1,500 calories, right? So we determined that 500 calories less per day is what you needed to maintain to lose weight. And so we're not talking about those 1,500 calories, we're talking about the 2,000 over consuming on calories that you eat on Saturday and Sunday. So that's in addition to all that food that you're taking in. And I'm not in no way knocking that these aren't part of life or that you can never enjoy them. I'm just merely suggesting what what 1,000 calories can look like to show you kind of that it's really realistic to think that you're not going overboard, but really you are, and how little food it takes to do that. So it could be roughly one like restaurant kind of style burger. It could be a small fry, and it could be a Caesar salad, and it could be one slice of cake. So basically it could be your red wine with dinner, your dinner, and then a dessert being your cake. That brings you 1,273 roughly calories, depending on where you go. It's obviously going to look a little bit different, but that's already like one meal. You've already gone over by 1,000, but you still have another 1,000 right on Sunday that you're going to overconsume on to bring you over 2,000 to fit the example. So the other one is maybe you don't eat like this ever. So the other one could be 2 tablespoons of almond butter. Again, this is over top of your 1,500 maintenance calories. It could be 3 cups of nacho chips. And it can be about half a cup of guac. So that is roughly 230 calories just for that, right? So let's look at a couple more examples. Am I driving home the point yet? This weekenditis? All right. So it could mean, so for breakfast, you're going to add an additional 2 tablespoons of almond butter. It could mean that you're going to add 1 banana. And again, this doesn't have to be at one meal. It's just throughout the day, right? It can mean 2 slices of white bread. And maybe you're going to have some honey on that. So this is some sort of sandwich that you're going to make there. So that's roughly about 411 calories. And then let's say at nighttime you're going to have 2 other slices of bread, toasted or not. Burnt doesn't negate the calories. And you're going to have 3 slices of cheddar cheese. And you're going to have 2 tablespoons of butter. Maybe you're having like grilled cheese. That's roughly 649 calories. So now you're over by 1,060 calories. Last example I have is, let's say you have 1 Snickers bar, not to pick on Snickers, and you have 1 grande vanilla latte from Starbucks, and you decide that you want to stick to your goals. So you think that the protein box that they have there is a really healthy option. So you have 1 Farmer's Market protein box, which isn't that bad, but you have 979 calories for this whole thing. So the question then is, can you undo your hard work by relaxing a bit on Saturday and Sunday and having some meals that overconsume? Yes, because as you had saw from when I started the video, is that your maintenance calories were at 1,500. So not your calories to lose weight, and just by going over 2,000 calories on a Saturday and Sunday, which now we've proven that it's pretty easy to do, your maintenance calories become, your weight loss calories become 7. This one, your maintenance calories are 2,000. This is what it takes for you to just like maintain your weight, as we've decided it's 2,000. We want to start you on a gradual process of 1,500 so that we don't dip so low and have those spikes up like this, like I explained. And we don't want you to feel irritable or have incessant hunger or incessant thoughts about food or dips in really low energy. So that's where we set you. But you're eating this because on Saturday and Sunday you're over consuming, or you're not recording it in your diary, or you're not recording it in MyFitnessPal, whatever it is that you're doing. You're just going over those 2 days because you have a case of the weekenditis, basically. So some coaches use cheat meals, and there's certain clients that fit the bill with cheat meals. They generally have a pretty good relationship with food, You know, type A's are pretty good with that sort of thing. So cheat meals work well, and cheat meals are generally planned, and generally we consider these numbers and things. So we don't, it's not free reign to go overboard. We understand that we're working within a certain limit when we do the cheat meal. You're also making trades in order to have that. So if you wanted to have this meal or whatever, and you knew that it was 1,000 calories, then perhaps you're cutting 1,000 calories somewhere else so that you can have this. And you're only doing it once in a while, because we understand that quality is really, really important. So you're only doing this once in a while. You're not doing it all the time. So you would understand that you would need to cut 1,000 calories somewhere else so that you don't end up with this number here in order for you to be able to enjoy that. And it's a couple of trades, right? Because this isn't going to be filling in comparison to the foods that I might choose that prioritize protein, non-starchy vegetables, and have some carbohydrates and fats there. So I'm going to feel probably hungry, and we're going to have more cravings for stuff the higher sugar my kind of cheat meal is. The other approach, instead of a cheat meal, because it doesn't work for everyone, right, is to consider that why not work in some of these foods so that you're not spending Saturday and Sunday overindulging on them and then over consuming here. So why not learn how to have, like if it's really a grande vanilla tall latte, maybe you want a small a tall instead, but you know, it's working in how to work that in so you don't feel guilty or restricted Monday to Friday, and then come Saturday want to have 2, 3, 4, or have even more sugar or whatever it is, because you've deprived yourself so long. So it's trying to figure out how to have those foods. And any of the examples that I gave you, you know, burger and fries are awesome to include, but it's understanding like they don't have to be reserved for Mondays to Saturdays and Sundays when you overconsume on other things, and it's how to figure out how to balance them in amongst the other foods that tend to be a little bit healthier and more nutrient dense for you. No way is a plan supposed to help. You're not supposed to rely on supplements to get you there, right? Supplements are at the bottom of the totem pole. So when it comes to the all-out training approach, our approach is looking at general mindset. So your thoughts and beliefs and your relationship with food, relationship with your body, how you've previously exercised, your relationship with exercise, the things that you've been told, the things that you've heard. We're kind of like breaking down all those things to understand why is it that we do the things that we do, and why do we do them repeatedly, even though we generally know what to do. How come we keep feeling like we're starting over all the time? So we generally start there. And then stress and sleep are running in the background all the time because we want to manage those things. And there's lots of research to support that if you don't manage your sleep and get good quality sleep, and you aren't managing your stress levels, then it's going to kind of sabotage your efforts until we get really clear on that. Sometimes we don't have a lot of stress in our lives. We feel like we manage pretty well, and you know, we're not as stressful as we are, but we're over exercising, which is also taxing the body on top of dieting, which is still causing another level of stress. So we're not considering those things as well. And then it's your nutrition. And nutrition, we always look at prioritizing protein. What are proteins? How much protein do you need? How to eat protein, that sort of thing. And then we look at non-starchy vegetables, which are full of fiber, which are alkalizing. And then we strategically look at carbohydrates and fats, which is not a lot different from other diets if you think about it. They all prioritize your protein, no matter what diet you do. They generally advocate a lot for non-starchy vegetables. It's the other variables. It's the how they do it and the carbohydrates and fats that they play around with. So we look at nutrition in that sense, but it's not even that, it's developing habits around how we eat. So, you know, can we slow it down? Can we have more awareness with our body in terms of, you know, can we eat to 80% full versus eating to feeling overstuffed? And can we get to a point where we feel satisfied versus having these swings of feeling really, really hangry and that sort of thing? And then we look at exercise, the type of exercise that we're doing. We're all strapped for time, so we don't want to spend hours and hours and hours in the gym. And we've already dispelled the myth of that you don't need to spend 2 hours or whatever a day in the gym in order to lose weight or double up on your workouts. unless you have a competition or you're an elite athlete or something like that, then there are certain strategies that we could use for that. But for the everyday person, we don't need to do that. We just need to be more efficient with our time. More efficient being in how we get our heart rate up, but also that we're using weights and we're constantly progressively overloading the body in the sense that we're challenging the way we're doing our workout all the time versus doing the same thing over and over. Supplements are at the very end of the period, the very last thing. Some people need them, some people don't. And when we advocate for supplements, we advocate things like greens. If you're not able to get a lot of greens, or you generally don't like greens, it's not for everybody. Protein powders are another way because they're portable. They help with your sweet tooth, but they, again, not for everybody. And then a series of other vitamins and minerals that we can include to help boost the body and bit. So that's kind of our approach. And we look at it as you need to build the legs of the table before you build the top of the table. And oftentimes we're looking for the perfect tabletop before we've built the legs to the table. So basically, I hope that this helps you understand what weekenditis looks like and answers the common question of can I undo all my hard work Saturday and Sunday when I do overindulge? And it also goes a step further to show you how very little it takes for you to overconsume on, and then the reason why perhaps your weight is stalled or not moving at the rate that you want it to. And it also advocates for working with the coach to help you understand food quality, how to prioritize food, not just necessarily prescribing a meal plan, because that doesn't advance your learning anyway. And you don't operate in a bubble. Life is busy, it's chaotic, you go on road trips, you know, shit happens. And so you want to know, how does nutrition work when all that stuff happens? And we use a dial it up and a dial it down approach versus a go-getter approach. So you need to work with the coach to understand that, so that you understand you know, how to prioritize protein and non-starchy veggies and all that sort of stuff, and then understand the hierarchy of needs, basically, that needs to happen. And then, yeah, and then you can look at all the other stuff that's like the micro details that we get so caught up in. You know, what's the perfect diet? What's the right diet? Should I try this? Should I try that? What's the best exercise? Those are all like little tiny micro details that we often start with. And what we really need to do is we need to move big rocks first, the big things, and we need to get so good at being consistent with them. You know, the things that we do day in and day out and we practice and we get so good, so habitual at, those are the things that we need to start focusing on more. And yeah, it's more time consuming, it's a lot more hard work, and it takes more time for you to get to your goals. But I don't know anybody who wants six-pack abs now not to have them a year, 2, 3 years later. I think that we've all moved, I think that we're starting to move into wanting to maintain a lifestyle forever, you know, wanting to be in our fittest, bestest bodies forever versus just for a short while to capture one single moment. And so a dial it up and a dial it down approach is a perfect approach versus a stop and start approach there too. Anyway, I've gone too long. I've talked too much. But anyway, this is my video on weekenditis. allotraining.ca. We have classes, we have online programs, and we have downloadable programs too.